Okay, the shaila is like this. The shaila is, that was a number of years ago. Somebody used to learn in this call. What's working in Kiriv, and he asked me, he has a summer trip and can't not serve meat for 9 days. It's just not going to work. So can they have a barbecue during the 9 days? So I was thinking about it, a little bit back and forth, and it definitely seemed to me it wasn't the right thing to do. On one hand, you should be good, but yeah, this is you don't start people, fresh from like you with meat, But so you have a Sudas Basra inside wherever you're staying. To do it before Hetzia to have a barbecue. Anyway, um, Lamaisa in the end, this person asked somebody else, and they got Heter. And the while they were making the barbecue, some non-religious people came up to them and said, "It's 9 days. We're making a barbecue for." So people started asking, "What's the 9 days?"
That's the non-religious stuff.
The non-religious asked.
Hey,
So
Nowadays, I think most here being done with stardom anyway. Like,
wait, no, these are Americans. The point is like this. The point is that we're showing to bring a few reasons why not to eat basra in 9 days. Either it's for Ma'it and Simcha, or or maybe it's Zeichel Megdash or Karbanos. Uh, but the point is that the point is that um, let's see what I do. The point is there a makam to be makel in such a case for Tzorach Kiriv Hogan? So I thought of the following idea when we were discussing it. The following idea came to my head. You say you have a group of 20, 30 guys, who are not religious. There must be one guy there who didn't have a Pina Ben. Right? Even though Pina Ben is not
use a third child.
it's not such a common mitzvah, but it happens. Right? It happens.
can't wait for non-religious to do this. Do me out.
So it was ready during the 9 days.
Well, so wait. It's that here by the 9 days we decide to ask him about
This was the child, right? That's the child.
It was
He asked me if he can make a barbecue. There was nobody there making a siyum. And by the way, Shemar says siyum, it comes up during 9 days. If you're learning a masechta, one year Rabbi Kalish was here, and he makes a siyum shas every year. He learns 7 blood a day, right? So Punk, they came out during the 9 days. They made us. So first year I remember he came, that he was adopted our call. So yeah, as soon as Buster, it was Bidiyuk on the day that he finished Shas. It came out during the 9 days. So as soon as Buster. But you can't start Harios,
that kind of like you want to make over the camps.
What?
There's a Jewish motion for the camps. So yes.
So maybe you
make with the sea.
anyway. But the point is like this. The point is, would there be makam for such a heter? Yeah, that somebody you find out. Let's say that this wasn't a plan. Let's just say you're on the group and the guy's reading, and he was reading a book. He says, "He's listening to opinion of Ben. Like, what's it all about?" And you tell him, "I'm gonna have opinion of Ben in 9 days." Yeah. So can you let him make a opinion of Ben and to eat and to meat? So first of all, the first thing we really have to understand is, so what's the problem to eat meat during the 9 days? I mean, where does that come from? What's it all about? So if you had a chance to see some of the Moral Komas, Maker Adin, with the Isser of meat, if you from the Gemara, from the Mishnah, from the Gemara, is only Sunamasakis, only Erev Tishba, right? And the Rashi speaks that out. It says that the difference between something's coming from Shas and something's from Vinegar Rishonim, right? Something's coming from Shulchan, so that's so pushing to for the sake of our mitzvah, to push it all, right? But Lamaisa, since it's not since it's midin minhag rishonim, so we have a story like this. Right? Hey mamru v'hei mamru. They will kabel the minhag, right? They will kabel the minhag. They will kabel the minhag when it's not in the case of a sudas mitzvah. Right? But in the case of sudas mitzvah, they weren't makabel the mitzvah. They weren't makabel the haga, and therefore there is room to be makel for a sudas mitzvah in the 9 days. Right? That's shlav number one. Right? That the it's not Mikra Din. Mikra Din is only Erev Tishba. Right? The Machaver brings 3 shitas. Some hold from Yitzayim V'Tamas. Some hold from Rosh Chodesh. Some hold Shlosh Kabba. Right? But so all these things are just minhag. In fact, the it's discussed to do in the morning. But for Maisa, you're not gonna make away Suz Masekis. Suz Masekis. Yeah.
Well, that's his man. He was a father, so you have to wait 7 days when he studies.
So then you make the bris milah 3 hours before Tisha B'av, and you wash, bench, and then
You can't make it an hour and a half.
look, when the Shaila comes up, we'll be done. And it's, yeah. Right. Before you have to have a suit. Before you have to have a suit Mafsekis, you'll have to make a quick suda, wash, bench, and that's
Let it come out.
when it comes, if it would come out. Yeah. Anyway, but Al Kapanim, Lagabi this question, as far as this question is concerned. So it's a minute. That's the first thing. It's a minute Rishonim, and wherever they keep this, so you have to keep it. Right? It says, "Praise Getter Yeshachin should get bit by a snake." Right? Question is though, so what's the getter of this heter? Right? What's the getter of this heter? So there's an interesting thing over here, and it's a little bit of a ha'ara. A lot of people make lots of siyumim during the 9 days. Right? These restaurants make lots, it's called Minhag Yisrael Kodeshu and Pastor Shalom team or on anybody. But Lamaisa, the lashon of the poskim, the Maril, the Rosham, yeah, is that if you make a sudas mitzvah and you're coming to Mishtatev, then kol kavod, right? And that's mutter. The lashon he says is someone's coming just to drink. Now it's interesting. He doesn't refer directly to the meat. It sounds like he's coming just to drink wine. Pastas, the same thing would apply to the meat in Simcha L'Bas V'Yayin. It's coming just for that. Says the Maril, U.S. Lashon, right? He says, they wouldn't go anyway. It's a mitzvah over here. It's a mitzvah. Still, it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah over here. It's not. It's an avera. You're doing an avera, right? You're doing an avera. So, Lamaisa. Okay. So now, let's say you have a group of people who are going to this mitzvah. Let's say you have a group. Yeah, say 50 people want to come. So, Lamaisa, the Ramaz Mashma, he brings this halacha. Whoever comes to the Sudas mitzvah, come. It's a Sudas mitzvah. So it's a kind of like Utra. You're allowed to go. Like so they only makabel the minhag. They only accept the minhag themselves in a place where it's regular Suda. Sudas mitzvah, they never accept the minhag, so there's no problem at all. Maisa, though, the Mishnah Berurah brings it from the Lavush and the Vayana that say that Kol Sudas mitzvah, Rosh Chodesh HaTainis, he goes to Sudas Milah, Mutter L'kabed Sham Asara Mitzum Samim. Exactly 10 people. In B'nei HaMitzvah, Bochum B'az Shos Yain. Chutz Mitzvah Shemafsikin Bo, that you can't do. V'yesh Lokan Asar Milvad HaKrov, V'ashaychim L'Bal HaSuda, anybody who's Pasalatus can come. Came with Tar Mamoil V'Bal Bris, Big Day Shabbos, Shas Mila, Kol Shekin Avi Abel, right? For the people who are making the sin for themselves, it's yontif for them. So they're allowed to wear yontif clothing and to eat the Suda, right? What about everyone else? So the life was coming out from the Chayonim and Lavush, only mitzumsum, exactly 10, or maybe a little bit more, 10 with his close krovim, his wife will also come. So, okay, and then the Mishnah Berurah brings from the Ramah, the Derech Chaim, that no, you can have everybody there. Right? He says, there's no Isser. Right? So what's the Shiloh over here? What's the getter? And what exactly is there and how are we coming out in halacha? Yeah. So I think the getter is like this. I once heard a nice idea from my Yeshiva, Rasik Shlevsky. I said, someone told me a story that it was a Tasna. I think it was at the Waldorf Astoria in America, not here. And Lamaisa, the wallpaper didn't match their clothing. So what did they do? So they changed the wallpaper. It cost them a few $100,000, right? They're calling more expensive. So Lamaisa, okay. So why do people spend so much money on a chasana here? We're making a chasana now, and we're making it too hard for everybody who's listening here. is invited to B'Av.
It's going to be for any time.
Will it be on time? Maybe. In any event, Tu B'Av and Ezra's Torah. Base Israel. Sorry, right, for Shkia on Tu B'Av. Right. And right, it's a little bit more expensive hall, but it was the only hall left. All of for Av. I didn't want to make a wedding drink L, so pay a little more money so we can have it in Av. I'll go upon him. Why? A guy, it's 155 shekels a portion. Okay. It's the end of the world, but still, it's money. And so why do people spend so much money on a wedding? I mean, what? Oh, but do you have an answer to this question?
Not als dat aan heeft stenen, aan heeft stenen, you have to make some chasnas, so the door needs it.
The door needs it. Okay, that's a good answer.
Doesn't the Gemara
What is that?
Doesn't the Gemara say that we're supposed to have a lot of sheriff to make a sausage, so I won't go back so quick?
Husband. So
Then
Shalom
I-
Bayis, you're saying.
Maybe it's a good reason, it's a schone. It's a nice schone.
We need to answer
This is
the
like 3 days of preparing this so that you
All good answers, but I'll tell you what Shikha Shlosh
It's
said.
a schone.
He said like this. He says, Lamaisa, a person can't be happy by himself. You need everyone else to be happy. So imagine you make a chasna, Erev Tisha B'Av, you serve bread, dip it in some passion, everyone's sitting on the floor. You're going to be happy. You could be happy getting married. But, when everybody else is happy, then you're happy. So Fini's idea, I think that's what's behind this over here. Right? If we're only allowing a minyan and mitzvah of 10 people and maybe his close friends, the chat is that we're monei tsar, right? If Baruch Hashem, let's say a guy's been waiting 20 years. I know a guy, I know a guy 20 years, I know a guy 13 years, and have children. That's Bris Milah. They came out in the 9 days, Guy's waiting 20 years to have a baby, and it's such a big simcha for him. He has hundreds of friends, and everyone's davening from him, and this, and they're going to the kever the Chazanish and saying the whole Sefer Tehillim at night, which is a skula, right? And, he's just going to have 10 people. Shit, Well, life's okay. At least he's not going to be, something. Epis shouldn't be tsar, right? But Lamaisa, the shita which the Mishnah Berurah concludes with that is the Derech Chaim, and that's the Mashmos Ramah. You can invite whoever you want, right? Because Lamaisa, we're never how will this halacha? But Makam, Sudas Mitzvah, they're never how halacha. So anyone who wants can come, yeah. As long as you're shy of the Suda, the Mishnah Berurah and the post give together. If you want to come anyway, right? Suddenly he has lots of friends in 9 days. A guy would never, he's a big monster. He's never going to come to a bris milah, right? But now for 9 days, so suddenly,
On radio,
on the radio, yeah, that's a complete.
Stops around every bris and doesn't know the guy. So you let him top around his bris 39 days.
Well, there are people who are probably some, the Muslim people. That's their devil. Okay. That's what I would say, right? I think we give most of another omikov here. Yeah, is that I think it's going to be totally lefila bal simple, like we said. If a guy's been waiting 20 years, I know somebody. He did already many IVFs, right? And Hashem should help him to have siyata d'shmaya. People he probably know he is. He's still here in the cold, right? And Agav, the doctor said he couldn't have children. Impossible. I went to Yaakov Hill. Yaakov Hill added a name. And the next week, the doctor said he could have children. I don't know what happened. He could have children. So, I used to be a litvak. I used to be a litvak when it came to this thing about Shin and Shame. I've done it about 10 times with Yaakov Hill, and every time, he doesn't. Most of the time, he doesn't let me do it. Well, he's let me do it every single time. I've seen Pella Atzim Pella because he said you're a new person now. Shame, Anyway, that's a side point. But the point is like this: Lupini's daiti, yeah, a guy's been waiting 20 years to have a thing now. Again, and all the people who are davening for him and this, and he's only going to let him have many subs. That's Tsar. Yeah, that's Tsar for him. Avadi, the minhag was never niskabel in such an ofen. It's going to cause pain. Yeah. So for sure, if they ask me, I would say for sure, yeah, everyone. As long as you're mortgage, you did this. You did this. It was in America and the West Side Coal. Someone told me you did, yad, right? It's yad, 2 hands together. And it's Gemacha 28. He said, because when you have 2 people together, then that's koya. It's Gemacha koya. That's true. So, Lamaisa, let me finish the idea. Lamaisa, together is either Tsar. That's Tsar. Or like I said, they were never closer in Mamakam Sudas Mitzvah. They were never kabel on themselves. That's the Pshit of the Ramah and the Derech of Chaim. And it's Pasha to me, I think, that if it would cause him sore, then you can make a like the I'm going to close the door, like the Ramah and the Derech of Chaim. Okay, so now in Canaan Dvarim, okay, so now we get to our Shiloh Pidyon Abed. So what about Pidyon Abed? So like this guy's been 30 years. Okay, he doesn't have a bris meal either. I know a number of people who they came from and they realized even though they were loyal, they never bris meal. Right? It was done in the hospital after 3 days, which is it used to be the standard practice in America. I don't know, it stopped and they started again, whatever, because it stopped cancer. But if you have a bris on the third day by a non-Jewish doctor, or by a non-religious doctor, so you need to have a toughest down bris. Right? What about opinion of Ben? So this guy happened. You don't make a sudag. That's such thing. But why is it the person makes a for a toughest down bris? Yeah.
Someone's supposed to be silver.
Look, you always make a suda. Totally Mr. Tummin, right? But certainly not during the 9 days. What about opinion of Ben? So let's say again. Two shilas. Let's first talk about a shilah, which I think you could. The guy's on a Kiriv trip, and he's reading a book by Ari Kaplan, Pina Ben. It's such an amazing thing. All the Before are supposed to die in Mitzrayim, and you're poor, and they're supposed to go, etc. He's going, I want to do a Pina Ben. So you do a Pina Ben, right? So Lamaisa, it's passion, I think. You can eat meat. You can eat.
You can't wait till 9 days to repeat the event.
You can't wait till 9 days, right? But 3 times there's damen. Right? 3 times damen. Lamaisa, one of the svaras they say to be makmer by Pidyon Ben is because you make the suda the next night, right? Like if it comes out during Bahab or during a Aseres Mei Tshuva, person who like to fast. Some people fast all Aseres Mei Tshuva, and that's why there's 4 days of Tzlichos, because that's the 4 days, because Shabbos, Erev Yom Kippur, and Rosh Hashanah, those are 4 days. So they want to fast all 10 days, so they mash those 4 days. So you fast, okay. So you do the Pidyon Ben by day, and you make the suda late. Right? But here, let's say he finds out on the second day of the 9 days about being a ben. He wants to make a ben. So to me, I think that that would be definitely Yesha Amalisma. There's a little bit of there's a big book. There's a big book. Yeah, there's a big book. Lamaisa. It's not so pashat. What? Right. Okay. But Lamaisa is talking about you make it by night. He's talking about you making my night, right? Lamaisa, the what's it called? Others, the Shai Tshuva, and others were saying already that once again, right? The Magen Brahmin in Reish Mem Tes stress, right? And we're talking about Erev Shabbos. Now, you're not supposed to make a suda then, Erev Shabbos, right? Mila, so he's distinguishing between Mila and Pidyon Abed. Mila, Lamaisa every second, doesn't have to be an oral, right? So, you have to make it now. And when you make it now, you make the suda. By Pidyon Abed, make it now, right away. But you make the suda at night, right? So there's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. You can make the suda at night, right? What about a case where that's not going to be true? What's that? Right. He says himself in Tavkuf Samiches, when Rav says himself, so you make it a night, right? Right? So Imchal Pinei Ben B'Yom Tainis Sipor. Million let's go for Yom Tainis. Let's also go. So that's what you do. So the night it's someone to the mitzvah. You're doing it by the mitzvah, let's say by mincha, to Pinei Ben by mincha. You daven mincha ma'ariv, and then you make a right afterwards. It's Shalom Yisrael. Right? Well, Lamaisa, if this guy finds out on Beis or Gimel Av, he wants to do it right away. Mistama, right? To tell him to wait till after Tisha B'av to do the Suda, and to do the Suda, that I think is not what the Magen was talking about. That was not what the Magen was talking about. Right. Where's the Shai Tshuva here? 1 second.
It says that Kiriv is minus, it's not our. Kiriv is minus, it's completely so.
What's
Who
that?
cares? If it's Shirin B'Shmas, Hassan Smiths, who cares that he discovered that he's doing,
You should say they should not be.
One second. The Shoy Tshuva says, "L'nius daiti dafim nichnas man pidin ben rishon kohen lecho t'gavi ben papalos man mikre." Okay. Well, avi a kohen tzarchian. Okay, the pidin ben yishon yochel litzos yoser. The shiur mitzvah lo mishin. Okay, he's mesopik. He's mesopik. Yeah.
the Talmud says that's a mitzvah, but the whole is not consistent with mitzvah.
Right, but 1 second. But Lamaisa, the Magen Ram is saying, Shemedai, Tavkos Alachas, he says because I could do it at night. So Lamaisa, you're not mastered anything by doing it. You're doing it 1 second. No, 1 second. No, even Shlomo Mano. Oh, he's talking about Shlomo Mano. I think he's talking about Shlomo Mano. 1 second.
Yeah, when you open this, so it's Manan.
Mila Bishavas Mano, Kol Shait, I'm reading the Magen Ram and Tavkos Alachas. Mila Bishavas Mano, Kol Shait is Mano. Opening a ben, even Shabbos Mino, you have a little yoser canal, right? Shlomo is lomek rishus mitzvah, and nearly the after suda b'layla Shabbos Mano mutalech, right? So do the suda at Lila, do the suda at nights. Right? But what's going to be if there's no difference between the nights, this night and you can't do it at night. So you can't do it at night. So what's the Magen Ram going to say, right? Suffolk, I hear. Because it's not a mitzvah, right? Well, on the other side, you have all these achronim, the Tayyada, and who else? And there are others. And the Yemor K'tzia, right?
The Bible is security that it is this.
He says, the Yemor K'tzia says, yeah, Pina Ben, Kiran Shabbos Mani, of Litvos Leisa. We're not going to delay it. Once you delay it, then you're supposed to make the suda, right? You're supposed to make the suda, right? If you have to make the suda, then Bishlam to have it at night, still the same day. So, but you have to push it off a week. That is not what the Magen Ram is talking about. That was not what he's talking about. Look at the Shai Tzion here. Filim Nachmer B'din Hasheni B'Jay Magen Ram. Ein Sarach L'Kol Zed that Mark Tzia B'Beis Meir Masik T'Shlo V'Zman Abigam Kein Tzurus Mitzvah Halkein Mutter Lasos V'Yam Chegas Chayadam. Right. Okay. So Lamaisa, the Shai Tzion is paskening like the Chayadam, like the Mark Tzia, and like the who's the place Beis Meir. That is Pidyon Aben Shlo V'Zmana. You can make it on the same day even. Yeah, you can make it on the same day even. Right. And I'm suggesting even the Magen Ram who says that you should push it off, but that's only when you can make it at night. What would he say? If it thing. Also, we have to understand, right? Again, everything was said, right? Lamaisa, it's not Mikra Din, it's not Din in the Shas, right? The idea of right, it was a minhag. They have to show them. They were never makabel. Welcome. Okay. I hear what you're saying, though, Lamaisa, because the Magen Ram does say it's not Suas Mitzvah. So it's not Suas Mitzvah. But my question is like this: what would the Magen? Well, but Shas that they were makabel and minhag, or the makabel and minhag if somebody finds out during the 9 days it's about tshuva and that it's not being a ban, he wants to make it now. With the makabel then. So what the Magen Ram say? I think it's definitely a gray area. Yeah, it's definitely not pasha. It's not clear in the Magen Ram. They also said the Mishnah Berurah is coming out like these three good Yachon, the base mayor, the Morgatzia and the Chayada. So definitely I'd be madre. The only question is now, which is the icing on the cake here, should you do it? Okay? If he finds out and he's excited, he wants to make it, but should you make a pidyon ben, so that you can meet? So that I don't think there's any point of doing that, right? The whole point is they're excited about the mitzvah and the mishtatif, right? Well, like this Makarov told me, he said, if you tell them about this, they'll probably think you're fall from the moon, right? Yeah, we take some money and we report him, because he was supposed to die. Like, they probably not want to become religious afterwards. So, look for Maisa, right? It's probably not, you should not initiate this on your own, right? So, if they come to you and say, I want to make a pidyon ben during the 9 days, it sounds like really interesting to me. and they invite their friends, and they're all mishtatet, right? I'm thinking about Baal Tshuva Yeshiva. It's not a group of guys from America. Baal Tshuva Yeshiva, they're learning the Luchas, and Pinyan Ben, they come across, he says, oh, I never call up your mother. Pinyan Ben, what's Pinyan Ben, you know? I go for a like what's Pinyan Ben. So, yeah, you know, the tray and the garlic and the gruel. But, so in such a case, yeah, so in such a case, you make it during the 9 days, invite his friends, and that's Vadi Shalom Israel. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. They're all started in the Sudas Mitzvah with him, and you should be sameach about it. Should not take away the star. But again, like if they're not interested in making opinion better, also, it's not anything. You wouldn't even tell them certain halachas. You know, you don't tell about tshuva until much later on. So that's Lafini's daiti, what I would say. Again, they made the barbecue, and the Chilonim came and said, "Why are you making a barbecue during the 9 days?" I told this story. I had asked Rav Tzvi about this. He said they definitely shouldn't do it, and he was very happy to hear that the Chilonim came and told them. He said it was been a shemayim, right? Because it's an opportunity to the base of English. Would you know the 9 days? You're supposed to look at it like your close friends passed away, or a close relative. You know, if a brother, I remember I think a car once, a taxi, and the taxi driver started banging his head on the wheel. You get a little scared, you know, like what is he getting? No, he's trying. Like, is he all right? Yeah. And so what happened? He said yesterday my sister was in the Ramon Cafe and it was blown up and she died. Yeah. He said I can't believe it. I'm like, what a song, you know. And I felt also like he wasn't saying Shiva, so he didn't. He said Shiva, you have a chance to talk about it. This he wasn't going to say Shiva, so he was saying more. But that's the way we're supposed to feel in 9 days, you know? We're supposed to feel like brother and sister, father, Abinah Shalayim was nifter. So you don't hear people during the, Shiva, I'm going to see him and eat meat. You're allowed to eat meat during 9 days. I mean, during Avelis, you're supposed to. But, contain that, you don't find necessarily people making kunsim at that time because they didn't show upset about it. That's really the right way to go, right? Either if someone holding by it, don't tell them, let them eat meat, like we said, let them eat cake, let them eat, but don't do it publicly. We don't have to.
They didn't feel around by well,
What? Let them eat. What was it?
okay.
That was someone else, Mary Antoinette. But,
This is not me.
oh no, it's right. It's definitely right, Ashima. You're not starting with these halakhas. Again, my son-in-law was very upset. There was a store that said 9 fish for 9 days. 9 times fish for 9 days. Like, let's make a mipsan. Yeah. It's like, yeah, what do they have? I'm sure they have. Yeah, for the 9 days, right? So that's wrong. That's not the right attitude. It's supposed to be like you're not eating meat because you want to be mortgaged. It's very hard to mortgage. It's hard. Yeah. But and not the truth is you're not supposed to be in pain. You're supposed to be a mind and besimcha. My brother told me, what's the happiest day of the year? What? It's Erev Tishba. It says Meshanech Lazar Mar Besimcha. Let's say stop. So you only have a mind, but you have to Rosh Hashanah, right? But Lamaisa, when that time comes, so you don't have to, make yourself sad, but you have less simcha. You have less simcha, then you can feel a little bit about the korban. And again, look, who was it said? Somebody asked David Kahn in Brooklyn. He's asked him, my sister, someone listened to this call. My sister was about to marry a goy. What should you tell him? He said, tell him it's a korban to Hitler. You're bringing a korban to Hitler, because that was what Hitler tried to do, and you're helping him out. So,
Did you tell him that, sister?
he didn't tell him that. He appreciated it, but the point is today, today it's a big thing if you're marrying someone of a different gender. And Rav Berkowitz, by the way, marrying a boy, right? Rav Berkowitz told me marrying a non-Jew in Chutz La'aretz is a tension issue. They don't understand, You can't tell people they just don't have. What's the problem? They're taking shinish on that, right? Rabbi Yasha Pati, you don't bury someone of Jewish secretary if you marry a guy. Yeah, that's considered being most yourself in Israel. Margaret said, Eretz Israel, yes, and it was large, no, because depends, yeah, okay. But the point is that hard. The tsar is that so many people are off, right? 89% of people into marrying. So a guy wants to come, wasn't from, and he's going to a mitzvah. What?
59%.
Wow.
80 to 90%. Right. In America, in South America.
You should never another guy 80%, but kids of Israelis in Hassan, it's over 90%.
Yeah. Anyway, but in South America, it's higher. My wife told me that in Brazil, right, everyone who has a name, last name with a tree or an animal was started as a Jewish name, and like almost all those people are Jews today. In any event, Hein L'Chacham V'Yakamod, the main thing is to think about the Korban. Think about what we're missing. Look at all the halachas of the 9 days of during the year. You don't paint your whole house. You don't do this. It's all to tell you one thing that we're missing something. Right? You don't wear all your jewelry. You don't paint your whole houses. We're missing something because the first thing to go. Computer, sure, everything's fine. You don't realize you're missing it. It's people when you go to the coastal. I down this morning in the Arab border. The Romanian right next to the Water Ocean, right? Oh, it's there. Where you're facing it, yeah. So they asked me to speak. So I said the Gemara in Makkah says that Rabbi Kiva was passing by Kodesh and he went. And I said, you know what? He might have been standing right here. Look at the Kodesh and we're standing in that place. We're trying to say, but at the same time, there's a mosque over there. We have to know. It's a big, big, big thing we're missing. And I'll finish just one story. Let me finish with this. My brother said a story about a woman he saw when she was getting married. And she had a beautiful chassan and beautiful wedding, a beautiful hall. Somebody helped out and everything was beautiful. And the mother was crying. So the couple was disturbed. She said, my chassan, no, chassan's beautiful. The hall, the building, everything's beautiful, but your father's not here. That's how we have to feel. But Shulchan used to say, you go to a wedding and everyone's dancing. You don't know if they're friends with the chassan. But if you go to Levaya and somebody's crying, that person's close to the nifter. And that's Tisha B'Av. Rabbi Yerucham says is a moed of richuk. Rabbi Yerucham. It's a moed. You don't say tafnon, but it's because the richuk is the cure. If you feel on Tisha B'Av distance from Hashem, then that's the Gaval. Then we're very close to the in the base made, which would be carbon and chaos. Okay.